Jaludin Palika on debut. One Day Internationals. Yeah, be happy, you'll remember it. It's Gregory Brathwaite. Two out there. Rifle indoors. Ranjan Mandugali. One done, one without loss.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मेरी सुबह बहुत ही हेक्टिक और स्ट्रेसफुल होती है, तो मैं अपनी सुबह का स्टार्ट लेती हूँ एक्सरसाइज यानी कि योगा के साथ। बीइंग अ मदर एंड वर्किंग वुमन, मुझे एनर्जी की भी जरूरत है और न्यूट्रिएंट्स की भी। इसलिए मुझे सुबह कुछ ऐसा चाहिए जिससे मैं एक्टिव भी रहूं और फिट भी। इसलिए मेरी एक्टिव सुबह की चॉइस है ऑल्पर्स प्रो कैल। तो ये थी मेरी एक्टिव सुबह। अब मैं नॉमिनेट करती हूँ अपनी बेस्ट फ्रेंड जहरा जिलानी को कि वो अपनी एक्टिव सुबह मेरे साथ शेयर करे। बाय।
Ranjan Mandugali,
just a little bit
match referee.
One leg.
337th One Day International. Hasn't aged a day.
We heard Ramiz Raja talking about Usman Shinwari with his left arm seam. We haven't seen the white ball do a lot through the air, but left armers usually can get it to do something if it does anything. He has a couple of slips there waiting.
Your left arm skiddy, and he'll attack the stumps. Shinwari. It's their combination of bowlers that they kind of use all the time, Pakistan, and we've said each time we've watched them, certainly when we watched them in that Champions Trophy, that the skills of the bowlers are impressive, and they just, whilst they might seem like they're innocuous, they're able to pull out skills that get them wickets. Bowl straight, swing it, reverse it. Shot. First boundary. Easier pickings for Hashim Amla.
Yeah, it's been a stress-free start for Amla. He got off the mark with the delivery. It was too straight, just knocked it to the leg side, and now he gets a freebie to be able to put away, pick up his first boundary. He's so strong. We've seen it countless occasions throughout his career. That one wouldn't have even have ended up at the leg stump line. Just flicks the wrists. Quick outfield. 4 runs. I'm not convinced about the ends that these bowlers are bowling from. For me, the left arm, he wants to shape the ball back in at the right-handed. And if you have a look at, you'll see the flags at the top of screen there. They're all blowing from right to left on the screen, which means it's difficult for him to shape the ball back at the right-handed batsman. So I think he should be bowling from the other side, give himself the best opportunity to get some movement through the air and maybe try and trap them in front. This, for me, would just suggest it's going to drift across the right-handers and maybe open up the offside. Delivery's got a hint of swing back towards the right-hander, but if you've got the breeze helping you, you would think it would be even more effective. Give the bowler something to work with. There's a few moments in the game where you've got the opportunity to use your skills and facilities and conditions to your advantage, and to have the wind direction helping you with or stock delivery would make more sense to me.
You watch his hair, it'll tell you which way it's blowing. There you go.
Same left arm over.
We probably could move it further left. Yeah, a bit more that way. Yeah, there you go. Something like that. So it's trying to swing it against that prevailing wind. Hendricks yet to get off the mark.
Maybe probably that they are taking the theory of a spinner. A leg spinner usually wants the ball to be spinning against the breeze, and that it will drift in one direction and then spin in the other direction. So perhaps they are thinking the medium pacer can use the theories of a spinner. Problem is it doesn't spend as long a time in the air as a spinner.
And it's also going through the air a lot quicker. Nicely bowled, and Hendricks is away with an outside edge. End of the second, 7 without loss.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मेरी सुबह बहुत ही हेक्टिक और स्ट्रेसफुल होती है, तो मैं अपनी सुबह का स्टार्ट लेती हूँ एक्सरसाइज यानी कि योगा के साथ। बीइंग अ मदर एंड वर्किंग वुमन, मुझे एनर्जी की भी जरूरत है और न्यूट्रिएंट्स की भी। इसलिए मुझे सुबह कुछ ऐसा चाहिए जिससे मैं एक्टिव भी रहूं और फिट भी। इसलिए मेरी एक्टिव सुबह की चॉइस है होल्पर्स प्रो कैल। तो ये थी मेरी एक्टिव सुबह। अब मैं नॉमिनेट करती हूँ अपनी बेस्ट फ्रेंड ज़हरा जिलानी को कि वो अपनी एक्टिव सुबह मेरे साथ शेयर करे। बाय।
Oh, missed that. Fall outside off, and an opportunity to just catch up on that strike rate. Reza Hendricks, and he finds the field.
One thing's for sure, Mike, you're not going to be out on a boat shooting the breeze out there today. It wouldn't be a pleasant experience. That was a little bit of width. He was impressive in the test match. I really enjoyed what I saw from him as a change bowler. He was very consistent, ran in, hit the ground, the deck as hard as he could.
Paul, I want to ask you something as a local. I mean, not just South African, but Durban. This pitch similar to the one in Durban, isn't it?
Slightly different soil.
Meaning this is a bit slower, or?
Yeah, slower and lower, this one. Durban's got it's like a black bully from, I think, up in the Midlands, which makes it more bouncy.
Slow, but with a bit more bounce, which I would then think would be easier to bat on, meaning you'd score more freer. That's 4. Easily put away.
Yeah, this is a good shot. The length is a bit of a drag down and it's going a little bit straight, but it's the ability to flick the wrists at the right time. You can see how it comes off the middle. See the way the bat just goes out in order to flick it nice and square. He knows exactly where the field is, and he knows he doesn't even have to run. Taken from outside off stump and beautifully placed.
He made that look easy. Really look easy.
Really loving to get going. You get a sense a lot of the time you watch him play, Reza Hendricks, that it's all or nothing. And there's absolutely nothing in between. When he plays shots like that, and he plays good innings, you don't get him scratching about. He just bats and obliterates the opposition. But you get others who are able to just work their way and within an innings be able to find their way, play some good shots, and with others just get through it. What a shot. It's wonderful to watch, it really is. That's a beauty for 4.
Yeah, straight to field's been set. There was a little bit of width, opens the face. You can see the speed of the outfield. The contact was good, but that's raced away. Second boundary of the over. And all of a sudden, Hendricks, who was also in very good touch in the T20 domestic league in South Africa, he's underway.
15 without loss.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मेरी सुबह बहुत ही हेक्टिक और स्ट्रेसफुल होती है, तो मैं अपनी सुबह का स्टार्ट लेती हूँ एक्सरसाइज यानी कि योगा के साथ। बीइंग अ मदर एंड वर्किंग वुमन, मुझे एनर्जी की भी जरूरत है और न्यूट्रिएंट्स की भी। इसलिए मुझे सुबह कुछ ऐसा चाहिए जिससे मैं एक्टिव भी रहूं और फिट भी। इसलिए मेरी एक्टिव सुबह की चॉइस है ऑलपर्स प्रो कैल। तो ये थी मेरी एक्टिव सुबह। अब मैं नॉमिनेट करती हूँ अपनी बेस्ट फ्रेंड जहरा जिलानी को कि वो अपनी एक्टिव सुबह मेरे साथ शेयर करे। बाय।
South Africa won the toss and decided to bat first. The debutant within South Africa's side, Rassie van der Dussen, will slot in at 3. Also would open the batting given the chance. And actually at domestic cricket he bats with Reeza Hendricks. But he'll bat anyway, as long as he's in.
Just looking at the field now, I think we see exactly what the captain is asking his bowler to do. Sean Pollock was talking about the ability to swing the ball into the right-hander. Well, he won't be doing that now with this field. He only has 3 fielders on the onside. He hasn't even got a fine leg. The fine leg is inside the circle. One slip, that means the bias is towards the offside. One man out on the onside is just in front of square. So everything now should be going across his body towards the offside.
Easy pickings. A gift really that to Reeza Hendricks, and he accepts gleefully. 4 runs.
Well, he certainly cannot be bowling that line. I suppose the captain has to know if his bowler has the control able to bowl to this field, because there's no point setting a field like this and then the bowler hasn't got the control to bowl to the field. Too many runs available on the onside.
There's a movie called Sliding Doors where a man makes a decision and they play out the movie both with the outcome of his decision. So one, if he says yes, he goes a certain route. If he says no, he goes another route. I just wish we could go back to the start of the day and ask Shinwari to bowl from this side and see if it would have made a big difference. Would he have got shape? Would he be more effective? I don't know. They've got 2 young guys opening the bowling. I don't know who chooses what end, but I think they've got it badly wrong here today.
Senior guy gets to choose, and generally you go and you choose what goes for you, don't you? It's not the skipper who chooses, is it? If he's not bowling,
it should not be, but it should. At least there should be some consultation. There should be some consultation between the bowler and the captain, and say, okay, these are the conditions. What do you think you can manage with these conditions? What would you like to do under these conditions? Certainly, the captain is the ultimate man as far as decision making is concerned. But it's a team. You've got to have a bit of conversation with your bowlers and see exactly what can happen.
Yeah, just the one. Biggest playing area, so if you don't hit it purely and it doesn't go across the ropes and go very close to the ropes, you're going to struggle to get back for a second.
Safra's quickly got rid of the second stick to both bowlers, because I think he realizes that there's not a lot of lateral movement here for any of his bowlers.
21 without loss.
Overboard.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मेरी सुबह बहुत ही हेक्टिक और स्ट्रेसफुल होती है, तो मैं अपनी सुबह का स्टार्ट लेती हूँ एक्सरसाइज यानी कि योगा के साथ। बीइंग अ मदर एंड वर्किंग वुमन, मुझे एनर्जी की भी जरूरत है और न्यूट्रिएंट्स की भी। इसलिए मुझे सुबह कुछ ऐसा चाहिए जिससे मैं एक्टिव भी रहूँ और फिट भी। इसलिए मेरी एक्टिव सुबह की चॉइस है ऑलपर्स प्रो कैल। तो ये थी मेरी एक्टिव सुबह। अब मैं नॉमिनेट करती हूँ अपनी बेस्ट फ्रेंड जहरा जिलानी को कि वो अपनी एक्टिव सुबह मेरे साथ शेयर करे। बाय।
The 50 over matches into the 2020s. 3 of them, Cape Town, Johannesburg and Centurion. Been a long tour, 3 tests before this. Some will have confidence coming into these limited overs, well, others not so, but we've got to stress that Cricket World Cup is coming up in England in 4 or 5 months' time. And both sides will hope to be ready then, will have to be ready then. And in these 5 games, we'll be trying to figure some of those things out with regard to selection and the personnel they'll use over there. Good running.
As far as bowlers are concerned, though, you would think that they would know the conditions in England are going to be different from the conditions here in South Africa. So a bowler may do well under these conditions and might not necessarily do well in England. And conversely the same. He might not do well here in South Africa and do extremely well in England because of the different conditions there. They'll have to take things like that into consideration.
You expect a bowling head coach would understand that. Let's say if you're a bowler, you hope that he'll understand that.
And the head coach who knows both conditions as well.
And there's a bowling coach in the opposition who will know those conditions too. And they will have a template, I think. Pakistan, because of having won that ICC Champions Trophy. You know, Otis Gibson, he certainly will know. Having coached England, having played there, county scene.
It's interesting. Reza Hendricks on the back of his shirt. South Africans who've watched all the cricket over the years have noticed that A.B. de Villiers wore number 17 for many, many years. Reza Hendricks, when he was brought into the South African side, his number domestically is 17 as well. But he felt in the news that A.B. had retired was a bit too close to be using number 17 straight away. So he went for 77 to start off with. And now that he's returned back to South Africa, he feels more comfortable now to go with his original number. That feels lucky for him. I don't know if he's phoned A.B. and got permission or anything along those lines, but he's happy now with 17 and he feels more comfortable with 17 on his back.
Does anyone wear 7?
Wayne Parnell ended up wearing number 7.
Get permission?
No. But it was about 7 years after I'd retired, I think so. I don't think he needed any.
Without loss.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मेरी सुबह बहुत ही हेक्टिक और स्ट्रेसफुल होती है, तो मैं अपनी सुबह का स्टार्ट लेती हूँ एक्सरसाइज यानी कि योगा के साथ। बीइंग अ मदर एंड वर्किंग वुमन, मुझे एनर्जी की भी जरूरत है और न्यूट्रिएंट्स की भी। इसलिए मुझे सुबह कुछ ऐसा चाहिए जिससे मैं एक्टिव भी रहूँ और फिट भी। इसलिए मेरी एक्टिव सुबह की चॉइस है ऑलपर्स प्रो कैल। तो ये थी मेरी एक्टिव सुबह। अब मैं नॉमिनेट करती हूँ अपनी बेस्ट फ्रेंड जहरा जिलानी को कि वो अपनी एक्टिव सुबह मेरे साथ शेयर करे। बाय।
Start as a circumspect one, decent enough bowling by Pakistan. Amla and Hendricks going together. Not too much of the strike for Amla.
Different bowlers have got a lot of different techniques and some work for different players, but in order for Shinwari to be able to shape the ball back, I've just got a point that I'm going to make. I don't know if he does look to shape the ball back on a consistent basis, but if you have a look at his run-up, it's nice, it's strong, he gets into a pretty strong position. At point of delivery, he takes the ball down and then goes on to follow through. We're just going to roll it back. And at that point there, he wants to make a perpendicular line from there straight up. And he wants to be trying to deliver from somewhere in that region. As you roll on, we'll see he's well over the perpendicular, which makes him look to push the ball across the right-hander rather than shape it in towards the right-hander. So that's something he could work on. And maybe trying to get a little bit more perpendicular and maybe his wrist into a slightly better position. He might find he gets a little bit more shape. But you can't argue with the stats so far in his international career. It's been pretty impressive. That's where he's delivering from. As we say, we saw where he started off was somewhere near the bottom of that white line. So the closer he gets to the arrow, the more chance he's got of getting some really good swing in towards the right-handers. Also the wrist position-wise, you can see slightly pointing towards first slip where he wants to get the angle of the seam position, maybe towards leg slip would help him just a touch. That's something, as I say, I'm not too sure 100% that he actually wants to shape the ball back, but particularly not with this strong wind pushing it across.
Or the field, as Mikey said earlier on. And the worst thing you can get, though, for a bowler is for a bowler to be fighting his own action, to be trying to swing it in and with the action that you're seeing there. So if he works with it, which it looks very much like he does, according to the field and the one slip and everything going across, then you can work with that. And I'm sure Azhar Mahmood and Shinwari together would have kind of worked that out.
And the reason why you tend to identify or know it is because I used to do something similar. I used to often get over the perpendicular and feel like my wrist wasn't in the right position and I'm pushing it into the right hand rather than getting into a strong position to shape it away. So that's why you tend to identify it more in the other bowlers you see.
Always interesting with guys who bowl over the perpendicular is you wonder if it would change if the left armer is bowling to a left-handed batsman, because you get into a more natural position then and you're able to pull across rather than push. Perhaps only get that chance a bit later, lower down in South Africa's order. David Miller, first of the left-handers.
It'll be interesting to see how much of the longer form of the game he does play, because if he certainly plays a lot of the longer form of the game, what he's doing here is not going to help him a lot. He's not going to be very successful. But sometimes, as we know, some of these guys are just interested in playing a short form, so they just compromise their game and do simple things.
Failed it. A really good shot and some dive to make sure it doesn't get to the fence. Shadab Khan with the stop. Yeah, deserves another look. Well struck. Excellent. Yeah, missed out. 27 without loss.
बॉलिंग चाइल्ड लेफ्ट ऑफ राउंड दादा चाइल्ड कौन सी है ये ठीक है ना बॉलिंग करनी है हो जाएगा उसका बॉलिंग करनी है उसने
have fans from all over the world here in Port Elizabeth. Just saw some Hawaiians. Seems as if we just saw a Japanese lady.
Spin into the attack, Imad Wasim. And generally bowls it quite quick, bowls it straight at the stumps. It doesn't turn. Some of the time he gets to swing it. Good economy rate over his 33 matches, gets wickets too. Yeah, missing leg stump. So many will play for the spin, expect it to be left arm spin and that it'll turn towards you off stump, but it doesn't ever really.
No slip in play, so I think most people will recognize from that it's not going to be turning a lot.
He's another one who's got a bit of a different action, and actually he doesn't bowl from too wide in the crease like you see a lot of left arm spinners bowl, and with their arm action it ends up quite wide. He tries to be as straight as he can possibly be. It is an area that maybe South Africa could try and target if there's a little bit of room, but I think with the wind drifting the ball in, it's going to be very difficult to whack it through the offside. But I think his idea is try and get as tight as he possibly can as a left armer. There he looks like he's going to be bowling from wide, but it comes right over from his head, and he tries to bowl stump to stump, try and not open up an angle for the batsman to work with through the offside.
It's a good start this from Pakistan. They've kept South Africa quiet, 4 boundaries, but have been managed to bowl quite a lot of dot balls. Lovely start too for the spinner. 29 without loss. Good work. Look at the right hand column. Yes, no wickets taken as yet, but 4 and over and 5 and over in the 3 overs apiece that they bowled for him and Shinwari, and a good follow-up from Imad Wasim to start with just the 2 off his first one. They'll hope that the wickets will come from the pressure they'll put on by giving absolutely nothing away. Round the wicket now, Shinwari, and upstairs a change. Graham Smith, Ramiz Raja with Mike Hazen.
Thanks, Pom. Just trying to tuck him up a little bit from around the wicket. That's going to be the plan to Hashim Amla. In case you're just joining us, just to remind you that South Africa won the toss and elected to bat. Conditions are good. It's a bit blustery. Track is as good as you can get here, I think, at St George's Park. It's a surface where Agent Carter, the groundsman, doesn't have a great deal to work with, but it's pretty hard. Choppy seas, 40 kph winds, so it's a bit blustery at times. But lots of blue sky, which is nice to see. Afternoon, Graham.
Hayes, thank you. It's always a vibey place to play, Port Elizabeth. Not the biggest ground in the world, but always a wonderful atmosphere. Band will add to that as the game goes on. An interesting surface, a surface that makes you think a little bit in one-day cricket. Wind plays a factor. Pitch probably looks the most even that I've seen it in a long time. There's normally the odd patch of dead grass, but today just an even surface. We'll play probably slow up a little bit as the game goes on. Spin, maybe not a huge amount of spin, but it'll be slow. A lot of stump to stump bowling. drift in the breeze. But you can score at the back end of innings here. Certainly hitting with the wind, certain boundaries aren't the biggest.
It's going to be one of those tracks that when the batsmen first arrive, they're going to just need to take a little bit of time to adjust, I guess, to a little bit of the lack of pace. Ramiz, good afternoon.
Afternoon, yeah. I mean, it's a track where you can be on the front foot more than on the back foot. A track that may just suit Pakistan. And they've got a lovely variety with the ball. There's an off spinner and a left armer and a leg spinner. Left arm pace, right arm pace. Hassan Ali bowls well in the middle of the innings. So they've got the bases covered.
Short delivery and nicely played by Reza Hendrick. So, Ramiz, why is Shaheen Afridi not playing? He got, what was it, man of the series against New Zealand? Why is he not fronting today?
Yeah, I think it must have been a very, very close call, because you would want to have tall left armer in the playing 11 because what he achieved recently against New Zealand. But I think the decision was made looking at the surface, and I think Pakistan think tank feels that you've got to have bowlers that can get the ball back into the stumps, bowl wicket to wicket, and Shaheen Afridi can give South Africa that extra angle with his left arm pace, and he's not a big in-swinging bowler yet.
I think what we saw from Afridi during the first two test matches was really impressive. He didn't play in the last one, and the reason given for that was a little bit sore, body was a little bit sore, which I just hope they haven't put him on the sidelines too long here, because I think he's a terrific talent.
I think they're managing the workload. He's only 18, so they don't want to burden him with extra stuff. But he's a real talent. I'm sure he'll feature in the one-day series, but maybe not playing today because of the conditions.
Maybe we'll see him in the next game in Durban, depending on what happens with the result today.
Building up some good pressure on Amla here, Pakistan. Reza Hendricks has managed to get off to a positive start at 21. And they're doing okay, but just hasn't been able to rotate the strike or find the gap on that bad delivery. There's an opening batter in the first 10, just builds pressure on you. You just want to keep it ticking over. You don't want to be hitting ball after ball to the fielder. It's nice to share that expectation of run rate with your partner.
Just a couple of runs so far in this over. And that's where it's going to stay. So that's really good stuff from Shinwari. 8 gone, 31 for none.
This is a decent start by Pakistan. South Africa have not lost a wicket, so they'd be pretty satisfied in that regard, but not run away with the show yet.
Plenty of green foliage around the place, plenty of blue sky, and plenty of green uniforms. I guess I'm not the only one that's watching this telecast thinking, that's away. And they're going to pick up a boundary off the first ball of the over, so that's really important.
Yeah, and you heard the groan. He's trying to bowl stump to stump. You're going to try and negate width on a surface like this, and he just drifts in too much with the field restrictions. There's no man out in the 45 boundary. Arm ball helps it on its way.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the left armer, really. The breeze is picking up. You're talking about, what, 40 kilometers an hour. So it can be tough. But somebody like Imad is playing for the first time in
KNN's फ्री होम डिलीवरी। हमारे टोल फ्री नंबर 0800-11156 पर कॉल करें और KNN's चिकन और चिकन प्रोडक्ट्स घर बैठे मंगवाएं। सेफ एंड हेल्दी चिकन डिलीवर्ड। KNNs. KNN's फ्री होम डिलीवरी। हमारे टोल फ्री नंबर 0800-11156 पर कॉल करें और KNN's चिकन और चिकन प्रोडक्ट्स घर बैठे मंगवाएं। सेफ एंड हेल्दी चिकन डिलीवर्ड। KNN's.
But if he hits,
actually, I was watching Rummies in the wind there today. Rummies, those beautiful locks of yours were blowing everywhere.
I know, it was embarrassing. He's got to become just a little bit less predictable, Imad. At times, it just bowls one speed, one channel. And say if you're intelligent, if you're out there for a little while, you can sum it up quite nicely.
and I think that's what South Africa have done. They've realised he's under a little bit of pressure. He's tapped in the last over, so they've looked to get after him as best they can at the start of this over as well.
I would have liked to see Safras turn to shut up Khan straight after the power play. More of a wicket-taking option into the breeze, might get some nice drift, and who knows, the leg spinner tends to get a bit more bite out of the surface. Just would have been a nice time. Get him a go, maybe 2 or 3, see if anything can happen, and get his team a wicket.
Oh, superb placement. Such a joy to watch Hashim Amla, because when he uses those wrists, it becomes such a pretty picture to watch. Displaying his skills and quality and class and temperament. Lovely piece of timing.
And a lovely illustration there of how late he played that delivery.
I think Imad is really struggling in the breeze here. Just end of the over. It's 56 for nothing. The point that I'm trying to make, guys, is that he's very much a stump-to-stump bowler, and with the strong breeze and the drift, it's a different sort of control. If you're a guy that's used to bowling with drift, there's first wicket partnership, 56, 66 balls. And 25, Hendricks is on 31.
इसके लिए 45.
He's very much a guy that gets in tight and goes stump to stump. He's not a guy that will, like a traditional spinner that looks to drift it in, left armer, turn it away from the right-handed batsman. And I think in today's breeze, he's struggling for that right line. He's too wide or he's too straight. It's just messing with him a little bit, but I still think the leg spinner was the option. Get them some wickets and into the game.
Mohammad Hafiz into the attack now from the duck pond end. Economy rate is impressive. 4.1 throughout his career. Had a few problems with his action over the last few years. He's had to do a little bit of remodelling, which has changed it quite a bit actually for those who haven't seen him for a couple of seasons. Port Elizabeth, by the way, have never lost a game, a 50-over game here in Port Elizabeth. 1-3, 1-0 result.
Streetwise smart cricketer, Hafiz, especially with the ball. Delivers the ball late, so he's watching the feet, watching the toes of the batsman all the time. Not a big spinner, big tweaker. But with experience that he's got, I'm sure he'll use the breeze and conditions properly, better than Imad has done.
Well, they need a wicket. That's what they need, Pakistan.
That's why it was crucial for Pakistan to pick up wickets with the new ball, because then these Imad Waseems and Hafizes become that much more potent, because they're not big spinners, but they're intelligent bowlers, and so they can exert pressure, force you to play false shots.
Rassie van der Dussen is listed to come in at number 3. We'll have to see if there's any change from Faf du Plessis, who's back in the lineup today after sitting on the sidelines in that last Test match. As Rassie at the back. on debut. Skipper to come at number 4. David Miller is someone who can be devastating when he gets going, and this is a venue that he likes. Henrik Klaasen gets a run, goes to Cockers on the sidelines for the first couple of one-dayers. So 6 singles off that first over from Mohammad Hafiz, 62 for none. Illustrates that power play number 1, the Parade power play. It illustrates that South Africa didn't get ahead of Pakistan really, except for that last over. Turnover went for the highest total. Interesting, Graham, to hear Otis Gibson having a conversation during the week at press conference saying they are looking out for a batting all-rounder at number 7. They want one of those. I guess that was probably a topic of one or two of your conversations throughout your captaincy.
Yeah, you're always searching for the right combinations. The amount of batters you have with needing to finish 50 overs and 1 or 2 extra bowling options are always nice to have.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that why he's searching for that batting all-rounder is that Dumini will probably come back after injury. He can get through a couple of overs. They feel that maybe a batting option at 7, batting probably the weakest element of the South African short format game. That's beautifully punched. Is that got enough? Oh, great bit of work on the boundary. It's excellent from the old man Hafiz, putting his body on the line.
Good cricket all around, good shot, good fielding as well. That's the way to go. Punch the ball down the ground, take a run, rotate the strike, do the basics well here. South Africa in commanding position. Hafiz at 38, not bad at all. Yeah, I timed the dive beautifully.
It's one of those you start running after and you think, oh, I've got this easy, and it just keeps going and going, and you feel like you're running in sand, and then all of a sudden, oh dear, got to put in a big dive. And when you feel it, you've just managed to get hold of it, it's quite a relief actually.
Running on the treadmill. Stuck.
Worked away. 6 runs coming off that.